Hello and welcome all again today to Everquest Old School Episode 3. If you watched the last episode, I went ahead and took you guys into the High Elf City, and we explored every room and every crevice that we could find. So you're very familiar with that area by now. Also, if you watched episode 1, showed you how to do the basics, basically level up, how to kill creatures like this, looting, just talking about some of the stuff that I remember from EverQuest back in the day when I used to play after it first came out. For this episode, I'm going to go ahead and show you a little bit more of this zone. I'm going to take you around some of the hot spots. And show you a new place to level. As you can see, I've gotten some armor, while we've been gone. It's nothing fancy. It's stuff that I found off of killing skeletons or orcs. Nothing really all that great. The plate armor that you can see is actually the only ones that show up on my character for looks. Was actually a gift by a random player who's called Mary Janes. If you see her, go ahead and toss her some buffs or something like that, or give her a free teleport. Because it was very nice of her just to run up to me and 3 other guys that were in a group, and she just gave out buffs and gave out armor without asking for anything in return. It just goes to show the caliber of the people who are playing this game. Are just they're not in it for like getting the purple armor and stuff like that. They're actually trying to help other people out. They enjoy helping other people out. So like I said, if you see her, Mary Janes with an S, go ahead and give her a shout out. Tell her thanks for all of that. Give her a free teleport or something if you have the ability, or a res. As far as coming out of the city, you saw I took a right and I followed the path. Now, if you keep following the path, it's going to come to a split. You can go down this way, which is actually a dead end, or you can keep going, and we're going to keep going, and I'm going to show you why. It's going to take us over closer to the High Elf City, or not the High Elf City, the Tree Elf City, the wood. I think it's Wood Elf actually, but they live on the trees and they have pointy ears. That's really all you need to know. It's another one of those starting cities for a different race of players, but they're around here, and I'm going to take you over to a little area where a lot of them are, and it's a good little hunting area for the level I'm at, and then we'll move closer and closer to Caledon, which is a zone full of these little ugly orcs that will pound me to little smithereens right now because I'm too low of a level. Most of them are yellow or red, and I am level 4, I believe. Yeah, level 4. So I would recommend it at a little bit higher level, or a different class at least, because again, clerics are not gonna be able to take hits like a warrior or something like that. But most people starting over here are probably like rangers, a couple rogues maybe, I don't know, healers mostly. So here's your first lift. I also want to point out this little will-o-wisp over here. They're actually a lot higher level. You see it's red, con. But if you kill one of them, they have a chance of dropping a, oh man, what's the name of it? It's like a light orb or something, which will help you out in the dark. In this game, it gets very, very dark at night, and in some zones, you literally can't see, your hand in front of your face. So it's very realistic in that respect, and I like that. I like that realism. So at a low level, having one of those things on you, or even a torch, will help you see better. And so you click that, and the little lift will come down. And that's how you get up into the city. You just stand on the lift and then click the button again and you go up. I'm going to do a whole tutorial or a whole episode on that city, so I'm not going to go up there just yet. Instead, I want to show you around a little bit more. So we came down from this path over here, and we hit the first lift. Now, if you keep following the path up here, you'll come to another lift. As you can see, there's people who fight over here all the time. Some of them don't quite make it over to the guards in time, or can't make it through the fight while the guards are killing it, so that kind of sucks. But it's a good place to hunt, and you know it's kind of safe. You can run back to it. Now that's the second lift. To find the third lift, you can come over this little hill, and I'll show you a little place where you can actually do some hunting. See, you got some skeletons roaming around over here, and there's gonna be some pillars over here if I can find them. Still a little new to this area again. Okay, I think I missed them. But there's some pillars over here. If I can find them for you, I'll pause it until I do it. Okay, I'm back. I found it now. So that's lift 2, and that's lift 1, as you remember where I came down the path over here, and then went over here. So in between those two, there's a road, obviously, and you want to go over the hill. And as you go over the hill, you'll see these little pillars over here, this little area, and there'll be skeletons roaming around that actually spawn over here. There's a lot of low-level stuff that will spawn over here too, like wolves and bats and those little wasps and stuff like that. So it's a great place to come right out of the Tree City and fight and level up, because it does have some higher level stuff as mixed in with the lower level stuff. So you can come over here. You see the little hatchling widow spiders, and I'll go ahead and fight one of these skeletons. The sound effects on these guys are just incredible. I love them. It's just one of those things that will grow on you. You remember it for years later, the sound of that. It's like the Zelda opening up a trap door or something like that. It's one of those things that everybody can recognize and instantly, you know, puts a smile on their face. Just the same thing with the cash when you loot something. So it's very iconic. So now that you're looking at those, and over the hill is the road over there, so don't lose your bearings. What you want to do is head over here to the little gulch. You know, the little sway in the ground right there. And head over here into this direction. Now you see other people running. That's where they're running to. This is lift number 3, or at least what I call lift number 3. It's a little higher over here. I wouldn't necessarily say come over here at my level, unless you're in a group, which is where I was yesterday. And if you come off of that lift, you come up here to this road. And this is like the Orc Highway, because this will lead you to Caledon, which again, like I said, is an Orc city, or Orc zone, that you can go in at a higher level and hunt in. It's also a place that gives you a quest to turn in these belts over here. Now these belts sell for about 5 to 6 platinum, depending on, you know, who wants them and how much money they have. I've seen them go as low as 3 or 2 platinum, so you know it varies, but 2 to 3 platinum is still more than enough at this level. As you can see, I've been playing and I still only have 5 gold, and I still don't have all the backpacks that I want, or been able to buy any new spells lately. So you know that will definitely help me out. If you don't want to sell them, you can keep them and turn them in yourself. You know, it's going to help you level faster. To me, leveling faster is not really the point of the game. I would rather start off, you know, on a better foot, you know, with better armor and stuff like that. So, you know, to each their own. It's just something to be aware of. You see these guys are roaming around all over the place over here. And let's see what level this guy is. He's even. I'm going to go ahead and try to fight him. I may die here in a second, and if I do, I mean, that's fine. That will give me a chance to show you, you know, a corpse run. That's something we haven't done yet, something that you guys may not be familiar with. I'm not hoping to die, so don't get me wrong, but in every bad thing, there's something good, so we'll see how this turns out. As you can see, he's hitting me pretty hard, and I have that armor that lady gave me, which is more than most people at this level are going to have, unless you're an alt or a tweak. In case you don't know, a twink is somebody who's played the game before and has another character, and with that character they spend money or go out and camp to stuff themselves. There's another roamer coming. I got him. He's gonna kill me. Let's see if I can kill the original. Gonna run up here and loot him. Ah, I got me another belt. Okay, let's see if I can run back without dying. Now, the guards will help you if you're able to run back, but another thing you need to be aware of is when a creature is hitting you, if he's hitting you in the front, you're facing him like you're actually attacking him, he may not hit you as hard. But the moment you turn around and your back is facing him, he may slap you like a little, you know, I was going to say a little woman, but that might be offensive to some people. But he will hit you hard. A lot harder than he normally does. Also, his spells may hit you a lot harder. Some characters, some classes, or races can't even be stunned if you're facing them. But if they turn around, they can easily be stunned. I actually don't know what happened to that guy. He should have followed me. It's like he's bugged or something. That's weird. It's probably going to come back to haunt me. But like I was saying earlier, a tweak is somebody who's played the game, has another character, and they spend their money or their time getting the best armor they can possibly get and then putting them on like a level 1 so that they can level faster. Unlike a lot of the other games that have come out where they put like a level requirement on this armor, most of this armor does not have level requirements. The only requirement is like the class or the race, or that you just get the armor itself. I mean, getting the armor is hard enough without putting the level requirements on there. The only thing I could say that they did to try to limit people from farming an area too much is doing like no trade items, which means if you pick them up, you can't trade them to anybody else. You can't give them to another character. You can't even give them to another one of your characters. Once you've picked it up with that character, it's on that character until you destroy it. So be very, very careful with what you pick up when it's a no trade item, especially when you're in a group. You can't trade it after the fact. And some people may get very mad if you happen to loot something without doing a random or something on it first. It's just you really work that kind of stuff out when you join a group. People tell you it's like need before greed or something like that. Or if they're sitting there camping a spot and you just want to join them to get some experience, you may work it out where they can have the rare item off of the main bad guy. I mean, literally, you're just there for the experience. So, again, it's something you have to work out with the people you're playing with. Okay, so like I said, we're here at like the Orc Highway, basically, and it's a good place for groups to come to. I mean, there's usually several groups here already, so if you join a group, don't be surprised if they tell you to come over here. These little camps, they spawn fairly quickly. I mean, it's not like any of the other MMORPGs that you've ever played, where they spawn so fast that you'll be running around, non-stop and killing them. If you guys are a killing machine, you may have to wait, a few minutes or, a little bit longer than that, depending on how fast you guys are burning through them. If you're going through them at a decent rate, as you get around through the entire camp, the first one should be spawning all over again. Now, if you can see up there, that is the entrance to Caledon. There's several guys guarding it. They're going to wipe the floor with me if I get too close, but I'll try to get a good view of it so you guys can at least see what it looks like. And this will be a place we'll come later as I level up a little bit more. It is a very fun zone. I remember spending hours upon hours here on original Everquest, just leveling up and meeting some really good people in that zone. So it's going to be a trip down memory lane to go back in there, and I'm looking forward to it. But like I said, again, it's a little too high. Be aware of, the roamers and what your level is, so you don't go biting off more than you can chew and having to do a really, really long corpse run back to this spot. Now, for those of you who are not familiar with a corpse run, when you die in this game, your body stands or lays exactly where you died until you come back and get it. Now, you lose experience, obviously, but all your armor will also be on your guy. So, unless you come back to loot your body, you're not going to have any armor. You're going to be butt naked. So that can pose a problem for certain classes, like warriors or tanks, if the whole group wipes, you're gonna have to fight your way back down into the zone. You know, I'm thinking of like Seb or Lower Guck or something like that. You're gonna have to fight your way back down into the zone, and everybody else can pretty much handle their job even without their armor. I mean, they can cast spells, they can heal, they can cast their pet. You know, they can do things like that. You, on the other hand, as a tank, are very, very reliant on armor. This is not like some of those other games where they tried. He's yellow and an oracle. I'm not gonna do that guy. They blind, by the way, the oracles. They're very, very nasty. I would not recommend fighting those guys if you're a caster, unless you've memorized your buttons over here and you can do it without being able to see the screen. They literally will black out the entire screen, like your screen went dead. So, you know, just be aware of that. But as I was saying with the warriors, you know, you're fighting down to your corpses if you can't viz, and you're going to be taking hits really, really hard because AC in this game is paramount for your class. So where they can get by, you may not. And that's a yellow guy too. There's two of them. So I would recommend, if you're a tank class, that you have some extra armor in the bank. I mean, have it be somewhat decent. It doesn't need to be like state-of-the-art double set of armor from what you're actually wearing, just in case. But you know, something better than being naked, obviously, which is pretty much anything. To help you out, to help the group out, because you're literally the meat shield. And if you can't take the hits, it doesn't matter how good the cleric is or how good any of the other characters are. You're gonna have a very, very hard time getting back down there. Also, your bind location. There are certain classes that can bind, like clerics can bind. I think all casters, like wizards and druids and things like that, can bind. But like a tank, they can't bind. I don't think rangers can bind, or yeah, I don't think any tanks can bind themselves. So if you're one of those classes, when you get to a new area that you know you're going to be hunting, or you think you might be hunting in, or think you might die in, you want to bind someplace close by. Unfortunately, if you can't bind yourself, you have to get somebody to bind you, obviously, and you have to get them to bind you in a city. If you can bind yourself, you can pretty much bind yourself wherever you want. You don't have to do it in a city. If I want to bind myself in a room full of mobs, I can do that. I would not recommend doing that because you will keep spawning over and over, and they will just keep killing you over and over again. So not a good situation. You will literally have to exit out of the game and then load in like another character and beg people to clear that room for you so that you can get back in there and get out, you know. So don't do anything as crazy as that. Make sure when you bind yourself, it is in somewhat of a normal spot that you can at least be safe in. You know, obviously roamers are going to happen, so you bind yourself and you spawn back and there's a guy standing on top of you and he kills you. You know, be aware that that might happen. But if it does and you keep spawning and it keeps killing you, because it may take a few seconds for him to wander off, and you may your computer or your connection may be fast enough that you respawn before he gets too far away, you can always just exit out of the game. Give him a few minutes and then log back in. And that will help the creature kind of walk away, kind of pay the way from where you're at, you know, so that you don't keep dying over and over again. Also, as you get to higher levels, when you do die, you want to make sure that you have something in your inventory. Is it full? You want to make sure you have something in your inventory over here. I'll show you. Something to leave on your body, because if you loot your entire body, it disappears. And so you can't res yourself later on. You know, if somebody happens to be running by or something like that, you know, if there's no body for them to click on. So you see these guys over here. These are all actual bodies, but you've seen them before as I run through, where there's actually this guy's not looting anything. Where there's bodies down there. Now, either they haven't looted them at all, and you can tell just by looking at it most of the time, especially at higher levels. If there's armor on him, then he just hasn't gotten back to his body. And if you're a cleric, you know, go ahead and just toss a res on these guys. If they're not on, it won't do anything to their corpse or anything like that. But if they are on, a little message will pop up saying, so-and-so would like to give you a res. Do you accept, yes or no? And that's up to them. You'd be surprised at how much help that could be. I mean, they may be like 4 hours away journey time and find it someplace ridiculous and just simply forgot to bind closer, and you're saving them, you know, all that time. So, you know, try to help out other people with that. But again, leave something on your corpse when you loot it. So you always want to have something like bone chips or food or water or something, you know, that you can leave there so it doesn't disappear. Especially if you're going to be in the area for a while, because those corpses will last quite a long time. Like, at this level, they're already lasting 1 day, 3 hours, 42 minutes, and 5 seconds. And I don't even know how long that's already been there. You know, that could already been there for a very long time. Like these over here. That's going to stay there for 2 days. And that one's going to be there for a day. So, 2 to 3 days at this level, and as you level up, it's going to get higher and higher. You know, the longer it will last. So it's not really a big deal. You're not going to be worrying about, oh, I died and my armor's going to decay and just disappear. You have a reasonable amount of time. You need to go to work. You don't need to worry about it disappearing while you're gone. Just remember where you died. The best way to do that is to make a little hot button over here, and you can do that by going over here into your socials. Yeah, this one right here. And make a button. You know, you name the social right here, and then you do the little command down here, which would be, you know, / LOC, which is your location. And when you do that, in fact, I'll do that right now. When you do LOC, you'll see down here on the bottom, it gives you a location. It's almost like GPS coordinates. And as you run through the zone, these numbers will change. I think this one's elevation or something like that. This is like left or right, up and down. As you do that, you could find the exact spot where you died. So if you happen to have been just exploring the zone and you had no clue where you're at, and you happen to hit that button before you died in a bad battle, which, you know, is not something you always remember to do, but it's something you should get in the habit of doing, that will definitely help you find your body, because you don't want to have to be asking somebody to use a spell. I think like Shadow Knights get it and Necros get it, where they can click on your character when you're in the same zone as them or something, and cast a spell, and it will point them in the direction of your corpse if you have any in that zone. And so they can find your body like that. But that is something that will take time up out of their day, you know. So unless they're friends or they happen to be, you know, waiting for something and willing to do that, it's not exactly something they're going to be anxious anyways about doing for just random people. I mean, if it's an emergency or if it's something serious, most people will be like, yeah, I'll help you out. But, you know, take a little responsibility for when you're fighting, and try not to you know, waste any more time or anybody else's time if you don't have to. You know, it's, again, it does bring people together, definitely. And if it's if it's important and it was a true mistake, you know, that you just completely lost it, especially in a really bad zone or something like that, people will understand that. People have done it themselves. But if you're just being willy-nilly about it and being like, oh, I'm level 2 and I can't find my body, and would somebody go out of their way to locate it for me, people will be like, you're level 2, you didn't have anything on your body to begin with. It's not that big of a deal. Just basically keep playing, and you'll make it all back, you know? And again, I love these skeletons. It's just... because my very first character was a Shadow Knight Dark Elf, and over there in those woods, it's all dark, obviously. They're trying to give you that, like, creepy vibe. You fight a lot of skeletons over there, especially since you're a Shadow Knight. You need bone chips to cast your pet. So I was constantly fighting skeletons, so I have really good memories of those guys, and it was just, you know, the sound effects and everything like that. It's the very first MMORPG I ever played. I didn't play any of those MUDs that people talk about, but you know, this was my first, so maybe that's why I think it's, you know, one of the best games out there. I don't know. There's so many good things about this game, and I have so many fond memories of it that, you know, it just holds that kind of special place in my mind and in my heart. You know, and again, beware of these guys aggro each other, so. And I think that's going to be all for episode 3. You know, this has just been a quick guide to some of the locations in the zone. Maybe not so quick as I thought it would be. I think I rambled on a little bit there, but if you guys listened, obviously you enjoy it at least somewhat. And, you know, I want to thank you guys for watching. And like I said before, if you do enjoy the show, you know, subscribe and definitely write comments down below. I really want to hear from you guys and see what you guys want to see if there's a special zone or something you guys want me to go to. It may be a while before I'm high enough level to go there, but, you know, definitely mention it. If you got some fond memories of a certain place, or, you know, just a zone that you guys never actually got to go to when you were playing that you always wanted to see, I'll definitely try to hit that zone and show you as much of it as I can. As a cleric, I'm not going to be able to sneak past creatures or anything like that, so I'll have to fight my way through. So like I said, it may be some time before I get there, but it is definitely something I'll put on the list. And so that will be the end of the show today. I look forward to hearing from you guys, and you know, have a great weekend.